Hello and welcome. In today's exciting episode, I make a dress out of some black fabrics and some sunflower fabrics. Well, the top one is floral in similar colors.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So next month is yellow, well, yellow and purple month, and this month is black and white month. So I thought I'd do a crossover episode at the end of this month. So it's, black base with yellow. So I've got my two sunflower fabrics. I think I just mentioned the second one, but the other two fabrics you saw in my fabric haul earlier this month. And I've also got the black with the white daisies, but there's the yellow bit spot in the middle. So I thought, they're all vaguely tied together, and I think that I can use, there's like a yard of each of these fabrics. So all up, there's enough to make view see the dress that the model is wearing in, of this simplicity pattern. And there's just a few tweaks I want to make to the pattern now that I've sort of made it and can figure it out. So I'm going to make the top tier longer so that the cut line isn't so awkward. I just think that might work really well together. So this pretty one with all the different flowers in apricot and yellow, that will be the top, the bodice and the sleeves. This rayon with the sunflowers and a white base will be the first tier, but it'll be longer. Then the last tier of the skirt, or the bottom half of the skirt, will be, I think I might make a thin layer of the daisy, then do a bulk in sunflower, then another thin layer of the rayon with the daisy. And that way I can it will go black base for the bodice, white base for the first tier, then really black, then black base, sunflower, then white base. I know it's a bit confusing. I'll cut them all out and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I have cut out all the pieces. On the left, you can see the front of the bodice, the back of the bodice, and the sleeves out of that multi-flowered fabric. Then we have sunflowers on white is the top of the skirt, then the black with the daisies, then the sunflowers on black at the bottom of the skirt, and that's twice as wide. So here we go. I've sewn all the skirt together and just pinned it on the mannequin. On the left is another one, so you can sort of see what the bodice is going to look like once it's done. They're the same pattern, but obviously that one has a much shorter skirt. So yeah, I think I like this. I'm a little bit disappointed with the black and the daisies. You can't really see the daisies very much, and I'm a bit disappointed by that. But I think it might partially be the way that I've pinned it onto the mannequin. See, it's a little bit more spread out on the actual dress. So I think I'll make the bodice, and I won't change the way the skirt is. I think it's going to be okay once I've made the bodice. So I'll leave this here and I shall make the bodice. So as I said, I cut out the front and the back, and then the lining is just plain black, and we also have the sleeves over here. I'll put the sleeves aside just for the moment. So the first thing is to stitch the front two corners of the left and the right together on the lining and the front. Then I'll stitch the front and the back together on both the outer bodice and the lining. I actually ended up doing the sleeves first. So first thing I did was sew the underarms together. So just that simple side seam. And then I did 3 pleats in the bottom, like the cuff of the sleeve, one in the center, and then one halfway between the undersleeve and the center. And then I pinned them flat. So I pushed the 2 side ones towards the center and box pleated the center one. Then I put a facing or an inside cuff, just plain black, sewed that in and then pinned it. Now I just have to hand stitch them down. So and I will pleat the top bit, but I'll do that as I'm pinning them in, and I won't machine sew the pleats in because I just find it easier that way. So now that these are done, I should hand stitch the that inside cuff down, but I'm just going to leave the pins in for now. And I'm going to do the bodice. So the first thing is to sew the left and the right of the front together on the outer bodice and the lining. Now that that's done, I'm going to sew the front to the back of the outer bodice and the lining. So just at the shoulders and also down the left and the right sides. And I also did the same on the lining. Next thing, I pinned the lining and the outer together, right sides together. And now I'm just going to sew around the neckline. Then I clip the curves and I turn the whole thing in the correct way. So now it is time to attach the sleeves. And I got a bit, I just completely forgot to film this. Sorry about that. But basically you just pin from the underarm and round one side, then round the other side, and then you do the top bit. And I did a box pleat, double box pleat at the center top on both sides. And then it was time to get the skirt off the mannequin and sew the bodice and the skirt together. So, carefully unpinned that. And then I pin them both together, and you just do the center front, the center back, and the two sides, and then you sort of pleat down in between, and then carefully machine sew, and then you reinforce it, so machine sew a second line. And once they're attached and you check everything is fine, the next step is to just, with the black is the lining of the bodice, and you just bring that down over the raw seams of the skirt and hand stitch that into place. And here we go. It's finished. It is so cute. I haven't positioned the sleeves very well. It's a little narrow. I kind of, I've got bigger hips than the mannequin, obviously, because I'm a real person. So, it's, I like the one on the left because it sort of hides, it's more flowy, and I think the yellow one's a little too flattering. I would have preferred it if it was a bit baggier, and but it's a nice dress. But I probably will end up going with the black and white one more, just because it's, not so flattering and therefore more comfortable. I'm also a little disappointed with the daisy layer. You can't really see the white daisies. It's mainly black and the occasional glimpse. When you walk, they sort of spread so you can see them. So I guess that's cute. But I don't know. I think at some point I might, the first layer of the skirt, the one with the white base and the brightest sunflowers, I think if I shorten that a little bit and then add just a plain black ruffle to the bottom, that might make it, more baggy and therefore, more relaxed. Might like it. So this is just the side and the back. I do like it better from the side. I think it's got a much nicer silhouette. And I really like that I have so many variations of this. I like an empire line dress, and I like that this one's like a slimmer cut. I've got the big baggy one, the black and white baggy one, and I've also got the shorter baby doll version. So it's nice to have lots of different versions. I think I'll be making more of them too. It's a really lovely, relaxed dress. I think these sleeves are probably a little too puffy. I think I might try them again in the next one I do, I'll sort of do more pleats rather than one double box pleat. But I do like this, but I think I'll just, instead of having one really big box pleat in the center, I'll have a series of like 3 or 5 knife pleats right around the whole of the sleeve. And that way it'll be more of a puff rather than a 80s, 1940s look. It is super flattering to have the bigger shoulders and then sort of really slim at the waist and hips. But I'm wanting something baggier and more relaxed. So, Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this dress. I absolutely love that top fabric. It is so cute. And I don't think these fabrics match exactly, but I do think they're interesting together, and for that I love it. And I think with this sash here, it just looks like a 1940s house coat or duster jacket. I just love it. It's fabulous. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and hope you've been inspired to get out all your little scraps of fabric and patchwork yourself a dress out of them.